a daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play option. Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
Good morning. Today is a special day here on the OO Show. It is Thursday, August 21st. Aside from the normal cast of characters, we have some special guests coming from the sunny shores of Florida. Rob and Maria, welcome. How are you guys?
Good morning.
Good morning. We're doing great. We're doing great.
How is the weather there? I don't even really think I see a cloud in the sky.
It is great living on the beach. You know, it might be 95 in Orlando, but the water here is 84. So if it gets over 84 degrees, the water brings the temperature down to 84. And if it gets below 84 degrees, or in the winter, sometimes it gets down to 82, it brings the temperature up to 82. That's why we live on the beach.
It is.
Just absolutely great.
And hopefully you get a breeze every now and then.
Twice a year you get some hurricanes, but other than that, it's not too bad. As long as you're prepared for it, it's not too bad. So, So at any rate, like I said, I'm Rob Helmick.
Maria Helmick.
I used to be a gambler for 40 years and a bookie. I was a lawyer for 20 years, 25 years. And I first created the first online sports book, and I created some other online companies. And then I retired, and Maria did most of the work in our family from that point forward.
No, I'm an ex-banker, owned a car dealership, and also a realtor and house flipping for the last 8 years.
And she's a little bit shy. She flipped more houses than any other woman in the United States.
Wow.
About 300 a year.
Until the market went dry, and now I'm doing stocks.
Yeah. So we started doing options. We did not know what a put or a call was when COVID came in 2020, but the house flipping business stopped, and she was tired of me laying around all day. So we started learning about puts and calls, and we're trading and making about 30 to 40% rate of return. But we would go, up to just selling puts primarily. We'd go up to 100%, and then a Black Swan and common, we get destroyed and go down to 20%. And we were, all over the place, and it was taking an emotional toll on us.
It was a learning curve. You think you know so much until that Black Swan comes. You think, well, I know exactly what to do. I'm just gonna, roll out, down and out on a naked put. And apparently you find out that sometimes it's not that easy. Once it's falling, they don't always take you.
Right. So in December of 2024, we learned about Options Omega and started subscribing and doing back testing. And then you guys let us start trading with the robot. And our Maria's 40-year-old son for months was telling us about Chat GPT. We thought it was a bunch of BS.
He lives his life right through Chat GPT.
We tried it, and we found it was fantastic. And Maria did our estate planning and everything.
I do everything through Chat.
Yeah,
the whole estate planning, cooking.
And by the way, Chat GPT said everything goes to Maria. That's what she says, at least.
Amazing.
I haven't verified that, but anyway. So then we started. I got the crazy ideas. What would happen if I uploaded my trade logs to Chat GPT? And Maria would often, you would ask me about stuff that I didn't know. Our whole thing before January was watch Fox Business News. Somebody comes on and says, "Ooh, Google looks really good," and we'd look up Google and we'd look at. We don't know anything about Gamma or Delta.
It takes time to research each company. They give you a symbol, and you go online and you're trying to find out when they started, what their earnings are, and you look at the chart and you think you go back a year and you figure out where they're doing. No.
We thought, we can predict the market, and it never dawned on us.
Now I just go ahead and I go to Chat and give it a symbol, and she gives me the down and dirty. Which is when the company started, how they've been doing for the past year, what's the pattern after they have their earnings? Are they always going up? Are they always going down? Little tidbits that you have to read a lot just to find out that information, and I can get it in a matter of seconds.
So what I'd like to do in the next 10 minutes is just explain to you guys how we use it and how we've doubled our profits by using Options Omega with Chat GPT. So the before, now you understand the before, is we were really clueless. And what happened was we just started in on, we kind of think of investing as driving a car, okay? Options Omega is the rear view mirror. We look at Options Omega, it tells us what happened with great granularity. This is what the road looked like. This is where the curves were, the speed traps. This is where the potholes were. And then we look at Chat GPT as we upload that data from Options Omega, and Chat GPT, although it can't predict the future, it can guide us to stay on the road. And our investing used to be, before January, was how do you maximize profits? That's not true anymore, because Chat GPT taught us, and we've learned through my gambling experience, that the way to trade is how to minimize losses. If you're trading positive expected value strategies, those are going to make money. And if you have a blend, you're going to make a reasonable average. But what you want to do is avoid those losses. In our experience, we were doing great, but the losses were killing us. We could just minimize, cut the losses in half even. And we also were very proud, like we want to win every trade. And it's so stupid to do that, and ChatGPT has taught us not to bother. So
what I do when I start my day, basically.
Can I go first?
No. I upload a screenshot of my portfolio every day, and just tell her review, and she'll go through each one and tell me, okay, well, this one looks a little risky. If it reaches this level of strikes or whatever, you might want to go ahead and give a hedge. She'll go through each one and give me advice. This one looks good. Don't worry about it, which is great. I mean, I pretty much know what my portfolio is, but it's good to have somebody looking over your shoulder and saying, yes, saying the same thing I am. But sometimes she gives me, information that's like, oh, damn, I didn't even think about that. She gives me good information.
And we before January, we did just selling puts. That's JSP. That's basically what we did, is short puts. And now every day I get up 2 hours before market open, and I get on the Discord and I farm through there looking for strategies. So we find all the various strategies in there that people have been nice enough to post, and we post our strategies as well that we use. And then we put it, I run the back tests, I take the trade log, I put it in the Chat GPT, and I say, tell me how to maximize this trade. Evaluate this trade for me. And it starts to do the evaluations. And as a result, since January, we're now trading, I'm going to say 10 strategies. And strategies come and go. Strategies are like in gambling, they're like, they have a seasonality. Strategy may be good for a while, but then everyone multiple entry iron condors were good for a while. Everybody went to them, they went down. Everybody went away from them, they're back up. Ricks were the same way, double calendars. You see that there's seasonality to all this. And we used to always be locked in right into one strategy. No longer. We now move in and out of strategies. And I would say, again, we don't know anything about the Greeks. We don't know anything about heat maps. We don't know anything about the charts. We see it in Discord, but we don't pretend to understand it. That's why I wanted to come on and say, hey, anybody can do this. All you need is Options Omega and Chat GPT and mix those together. Now, granted, we live and breathe trading. We talk trading. We love working together. We're together 12 hours a day, and we spend night, day. In the middle of the night, we get up, we talk about trading. I mean, it's nonstop.
Check the.
But it's not work. It's like fun.
No, I know.
It's addictive. It's great. I have a gambling problem, so this satisfies that. First step is to admit you have a problem, right? So okay.
That's right.
I got a Maria problem too. First thing is admit you got a problem. I'm in love with it. What can I do? So the idea is that the Chat GPT, we upload the stuff, and so our day is get up in the morning, run a bunch of back tests, upload it to Chat GPT, take screenshots of our downloads of our portfolio. You're running a portfolio of
about 15 today.
15 stocks, mostly equities. You're doing some futures. Are you doing any ETFs? You're not doing any. No 0 DTE. We don't do anything over 60 days.
I don't like to go even near 60.
So that's pretty much shorter. I do about 100 0 DTE SPX trades a day, all through the robot. And then I manually trade the Qs and some oil, smaller stuff. And then
he has the robot doing everything for him. So for him to get in, he likes to get in there and do something manually,
I got to do something. I can't just sit around all day. It is kind of boring to lay up in the pool all day. But I could if I wanted to.
And I stay inside. I'm listening to Fox, and I'm getting symbols, and I'm plugging them into the computer, and she's telling me information about them, and you never know who you can trade. I mean, she gives you symbols, and I'm like, I have no idea who this company is.
She asked me about stuff, and like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
But Chat will go ahead and just read off exactly who they are.
Give me an example of how you'll. Well, I can hear myself. When you are looking at Chat GPT, you plug something in. What would it give you from your perspective of something you're like, okay, I'm gonna trade this. I'm gonna open a position up in this. What are you looking for?
She automatically gives me when they enter the stock market, how they do each earnings. Each stock pretty much has their own pattern. You know, do they go up after earnings? Do they go down? How the analysts feel about them, what their ratings are. Just an overall whole general thing about how they are and what's coming forward.
You've trained it where I go in there and I hear her saying to ChatGPT, "Hey, what's the down and dirty on this?" I'm like, "What the hell is she talking about? The down and dirty? What is that?"
Yeah, basically the stock behavior patterns. Basically,
you trained it though. You trained it so right. She's trained it with a shorthand code, saying, "Okay, when I ask you the down and dirty on this stock, tell me this, all this stuff, including give me some options trades or equity trades using strategies that I've either used in the past, I'm using now, or suggest new ones." So she will actually suggest strategies, and then at the end of the day, she'll ask me to backtest that. But sometimes, and then before you put a trade on, you'll take a screenshot of that trade.
I give it to her.
Put it on and say, how does this impact my portfolio?
What about these strikes? How are these strikes with this company? You know, and she'll say, well, why don't you try this stock? You know, this strike price instead. It'll give you more money or something like that. She also knows my, what do you call it?
Your risk,
yes,
your risk, yes.
Whether I'm risky, whether I want to be safe, you know. So on this stock, I want to be safe. What are my options?
We're always asking her, what's the parade of horribles? What's the downside risk that we have? What happens if the market drops? We are constantly worried about black swans. If we can just reduce the black swans, it's absurd amount of money that you can make. It's so it's kind of backward thinking. It's not how much money can you make and focus on the most profitable trades. In fact, those tend to be the riskiest. But what are the most consistent trades, and what are the strategies that are losing steam and gaining steam? And we do all kinds of strategies, not just selling puts or covered calls. We're doing RSI trades, EMA trades. We're doing double calendars. We're doing broken wing butterflies. We're doing iron condors, the wheel. So, and by the way, again, in January, we didn't know what any of these things are. I'm not confident. We still know what some of them are, but we're still trading them because we have that much confidence in Chat GPT, and we've back tested them, and we have that much trust in Option Omega. And so if you have a strategy with a positive expected value, then you can say, well, take this strategy and put it into this new stock. What was the one you're looking at? Dulo or something like that, some Chinese, or I don't even know if it's Chinese, some language company. Again, she's in a bunch of stocks I never even heard of, but it's extremely profitable, and we're not in them for long.
No. And she'll also, you know, I'm going to do a iron condor on this particular stock, and she'll say, you know what, this stock, this particular stock, you might want to go ahead and just do a vertical. She will tell you, because some stocks move slow, you know, and those are the ones you want to do, you know, condors or whatever.
That's right.
And yeah, so she'll give you, you know, that's the pattern of the stock is you know, you might want to go this route instead of what I was suggesting.
But
Hey,
she's
would you
not
say, Rob and Maria had a question. If you looked at each of your trades, what percent would you say you go overnight with, or what percent, like today on today's trading, will most of the stuff be done by tonight, or so would you say a bigger percentage will go overnight, or a bigger percentage will be done today?
For me, I will have 100 to 200 trades today. 100 to 150 will be SPX 0-DTE between 9:32 and I sometimes will go as late as 3:52 to do a trade. So those trades will go on and off today. The remainder of my trades are basically just time fillers. I kind of copycat some of what Maria's doing. I do a lot of NQ. I still do my one of my favorite trades is still the 60 DTE 12 delta naked put on NQs, close at 25%. If it's up 25% after 345. And that's going to average a profit of about 32% every 9 days on average. The problem you have, of course, is on a Black Swan event, you can lose 600%. So I don't use any stop losses. I manually trade it, but I do hedge it by buying power. It's another thing I cannot stress enough to people. In the gambling world, you've heard me say this before, you take how much you're willing to lose, divide it by 100, and that's how much you place on each bet, so that no bet matters. There's not a single trade that we're in that we're worried about. We don't care because we size super, super small. And we just do lots of trade. Look, there's no extra cost at Options Omega to trade more. So just trade a whole bunch of little ones. You're much better off to trade a bunch of little ones. And so, and the same thing works for, we do taste trade and swap. It's very similar. So we do lots of very small trades. And I would say before January, when we were getting wiped out on a Black Swan, I would routinely trade 50 to 70% of my buying power. Well, on a Black Swan, your buying power can go up double, triple, or quadruple. To go from 50% to 100 or 120 is not good. It's not good. You're going to have to bring in millions of dollars to cover the margin call. However, if you're trading at 20% after January, I routinely don't go over 20%, except SPX. So my strategy, I'll go to 20 or 25%. So if that doubles or triples, we've had the last couple of days, it's gone up a little bit. And so I might be trading at 27% this morning of buying power. But before, when a Black Swan came, we would be nervous. Remember, we couldn't sleep. We're like, oh my God, it's down 700. It's down 1,000. We're screwed. We're going to lose millions of dollars.
Just roll out, down and out. And
Oh.
In the middle of the night, the cues were, the whole thing was just dropping and dropping. So we got up, it was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We're down there yelling at each other. True. I said, okay, we got to get out. We got to get out. And we're trying to get out. I'm saying, okay, I'm just going to go for the market. They don't take you.
They don't take you, son
and
of a
it's
bitch.
dropping and dropping. I'm like, oh, God, damn it, take it, But yeah, you can get, let me tell you, you can get caught. It's not fun.
And we watch these videos on YouTubers, which we don't watch anymore. And they're like, oh, do the 112 or the 120, just roll it down and out. And it's bull. Bull crap. That doesn't work. I've been there. And you go 9 months, and you're like, oh man, this guy's so smart. I'm so smart. Remember how we used to say, I'm so smart? Tell about your journal. Oh, also keep a journal.
Yeah, I write every day. I write in my journal, how much I'm up, how much I'm down, what happened throughout the day. That day, I wrote when we had that Black Swan. I wrote on there, I'm not a genius. I kept thinking I'm a genius because everything, and it's easy to be right when the whole market's going up.
Yeah.
But when that thing turns around, you better know what you're doing.
And so now fast forward from January. January, we're in a panic when it goes down. Just it's. And by the way, December 18th, I've told this story. Powell speaking, and I'm trading, and I say, well, it can't go down 92 minutes in a row. Guess what? It can go down 92 minutes in a row. I lost over almost $1 million in 92 minutes. Yeah. So I've been there. I've got the battle scars, right? I've been wounded. So how do you avoid that, right? So now, because of the way we're hedged, the way we're doing buying power, the way we're doing small trades, the way we're doing a lot of it overnight and in short terms, what happens is now she'll wake me up. It's down 500 points. I go, woohoo, let's go. She goes, yeah, I can't wait. Let's go buy. We're going to get in. And we're, I always get mixed up. Buying and selling get mixed up. That's another problem I have is buying and selling gets mixed up, which is important to know which one you're doing. Yeah. But she says it's opening and closing. So we opened, like the last couple of days, we've opened a crap load of trades. And we're in the market at so low compared to where it was just 2 days ago. It's great. I hope we get another giant red day today because I still got a bunch of buying power. And I would like to get in super low. We're buying everything. We're selling whatever.
No,
we're getting
as a matter of fact, I have been buying.
Yeah, you've been buying a lot of stuff.
And then doing the wheel. And then doing the covered calls.
So I think on the Discord. Oh, the other thing is, if once you get to be a member of Buy Options Omega, you've got to get in the Discord. The Discord is a wealth of information. The Discord is fantastic. I highly recommend it. They will, and you have to have, I have no shame, right? So I have no shame. So you upload your trades and they will destroy your trade, but in a nice way. And then they will show you how to make it better. If I didn't have Chat GPT, I would do that. Also, we pay for Chat GPT, which is a lot better. And it's not much, like $20 a month. But then she remembers everything about what you're doing. She remembers your positions. She remembers the type of trade. She knows I'm very aggressive.
She remembers what you want.
Yeah. She remembers what you want.
Tell her, save this information for the future, and she'll go ahead and she'll remember it and know, okay, what she likes, this and that. Another thing what I like is, sometimes, when you're still learning, you don't know what questions to ask.
Right.
So, I'll go ahead and get all this information in, and she'll put a little blurb down there. Would you like me to run this test too? And I'm like, yes, run, keep. And after every one, she said, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? I've never said no to her. And you keep learning and learning.
Unlike
and
me,
learning.
she says no to me all the time. She never says no to Chat GPT. I don't know how I get in that line. But it is fantastic. And the two products together, anybody can do this. It does take a lot of time, but we're retired. So, and we don't, if you like gambling in numbers like we do, it's fun. I think it's fun. Our kids think we need marriage counseling. And I said, what? They said, well, you yell at each other all day long. We looked at each other and say, we never yell at each other. They said, oh my God, you guys are yelling and screaming all day long. I said, because we're so pumped with adrenaline and we're doing trades and we're in the moment.
Italian New Yorker here, so
And me, me. My grandma would say I'm full of piss and vinegar. So it's fun, but it's a blast. And we can't thank you guys enough. It's great. I wish you would quadruple your prices so that there'd be fewer people using it. But other than that, it couldn't be any better.
And plus, I don't have to, with Chad, I don't have to argue pretty much with her.
Are you saying he has to argue with me?
Yeah, well, to find out information, just sit there and wait for him to tell me something. Like, what about the stock? And he'll go on this whole big speech, long-winded. I know the stock is moving, and I'm like, oh my God, just give me the information. And by the time he was done, the stock already moved. And I'm like, well, that didn't work. Right now, I just get on the computer, type in the symbol, bam, all my information's right there.
Yeah.
And what's good about it is, but you do have to have some information about it because you can't go in blindly because she does make mistakes.
Yeah.
You have to look at it and say, because sometimes she'll read my portfolio incorrect because the number's a little messed up. And one time she did that. She said, oh, you got extreme risk. And I was like, oh, gave me a heart attack, And I'm looking at the numbers that she's showing me, and it's not the same that I have. And I said, well, you better double check your numbers. She goes back and analyzes it. Yes, you're all correct. I am so sorry, she said. It's like really talking to a real person, which is great. But she'll go ahead and correct the whole thing. Yeah, it's great. So what was the question again?
I want to start a brokerage just for Robert Maria.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The amount of SPX.
Normally the queues are about $3 or $4 wide. There was $300 wide, and we're trying to get out, and they wouldn't even take us at the market.
And I was going over it.
Rob, I'll say one thing, and Marie, when we were in the trading pit, I'll just give you, like the 1987 stock market crash, when the bid ask kind of get crazy, when things are going wild and there's not a good bid ask on the stock, they'll give the market makers, say, okay, you can widen your markets dramatically. Because if you can't, everything is hedged in the pit. When you come in and do options, all the market maker does is just hedge it against stock. They're trying to make, a couple cents or whatever between the bid and the ask. But if that bid ask on the stock, if it starts widening out, the exchange will come. They'll have referees, literally. I mean, whatever they call them, they'll come down and say, okay, you normally could be a quarter wide on your market. Things are getting crazy. You could be $1 wide, $2 wide, $3 wide. So that makes it much more challenging. Like Marie was saying, when you try to get out of something, it is tough because the bottom line is a market maker. If everybody, like in the 87 crash, is coming in and buying puts, we're selling puts, then we got to sell stock. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
We go to sell stock, we sell it $1 lower. So we're losing on every trade. So they have to make the markets wider. So that's why, you mentioned hedging is important because trading liquidity is horrible when the market gets too crazy, especially on the downside. Upside, liquidity is always there because I think there's always sellers of options, right? But on the downside, things can dry up when the world looks like it's going to end on the downside. But anyways, I'm just trying to lessen your hate against market makers. That's all.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Jesus. It's not going to happen. The amount of money, it's absurd. You count it in Porsches. It's a lot of Porsches flushed down the toilet. So, but yeah. So the other thing I will say that she's changed is we never ever bought options before, and we on occasion now are buying some options, not only as hedges but just as a strategy.
Yeah.
But like for another thing that we're working on is trying to get hedges that pay for themselves over time. So there's some hedges that I put on lately that will lose 97% of the time, but the 3 black swans that they win on will pay it off. So you got to be committed for a year. And, I think the one I'm doing is about $6,000 a month, if I remember, is roughly. So, $6,000 a month, yeah, it's real money, right? I'm the cheapest guy in the world. There's $5 on the ground. I'm going to beat you to it and tell you about it for 2 years. But so $6,000 a month, but on 3 times a year, it's going to make $100,000. So, or whatever the numbers are. And it turned out to be like $13,000 positive for the course of the year. So it does give you some protection. But she also said, well, I'm not sure you really need to do that if you're always going to keep your buying power so low and the trades that you're doing are so small, they kind of self-hedge. And, she tries to keep me uncorrelated. So, and I'm doing, Qs or SPX. So you're buying bundles and I'm not taking any overnight risk on, so the other thing that she does and why 0-DTEs have become interesting to me is that, okay, I used to say 50%. How stupid Tasty Trade says only use a third. I said, these comps out enough, Tony. And by the way, they tell me to say hello to you, Dan, and Frankie Walsh and Scott Sheridan. Scott Sheridan, really good friend of ours. And they all say, oh, yeah, we know Dan Sheridan. Tell him hello. And Marty, I don't know Marty's last name. He's a longtime trader who works in tech support now. So we like Tasty because it's very personal.
Yeah.
But the point is that she will say, well, I say, what about this cheap? Well, why would you be putting this on? Because now instead of using 50 or 70% of your buying power, you're only using 20%. You really don't need this hedge on. And what you can do, and the same thing that Marty told us, is wait until that black swan hits and then just buy a put just below your lowest naked strike, your lowest strike, right? And or buy it way out, buy it for not way up, buy it out for 5 days, but for $5 or $3. And that's going to give you more buying power. But we don't need that now just by trading small. And I used to say, people are so stupid to trade small because I'm a numbers guy, right? You want to maximize your profit. You want to get all your money working. And what it didn't occur to me is, well, what happens if it crashes? And people say, well, it crashes, 2% of the time. And you say, oh, well, 2% of the time, how much is that? Well, it's or 3% of the time you can get a black swan, or that's once every 3 years or once every 2 years. But really, it's more like
lately
once a year.
It's just,
Right.
You get doing it like April 2nd was another one. And again,
and that's another thing when FOMC speaks. A lot of times we're kind of slow that day. We just kind of sit and wait and see what's happening.
Or we'll scalp it. Right? We'll get rid of our good ones.
Well, it depends on the trade.
We don't hold anything to other than the 0-DTEs. We don't hold anything till the end. Till the end, you get out early, don't you?
My wheels are on.
Oh, well, your wheels. That's because you're trying to lose. You're trying to get the stock.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I have a lot of nakeds, and I'm hoping they go through, because then it means the stock came down, and I can go ahead and buy it.
It's convoluted thinking to think, I want it to go down.
I know, it gets back.
I get out at 50% typically, or less. So I'm in it for just a short hitter. Again, the idea of being small little hits, I'll just take that and eliminate the risk, right? People say, well, how much are you making this stock? I really don't care how much I make. I just want to get rid of the risk. Always get rid of the risk.
No, I'm in for 48 days and it's fine.
Yeah.
So, you guys are fairly self-deprecating, I would say, but listening to you talk, there's a lot of discussion about ratios, risk, buying power. You said you guys are retired, but you're doing this not 24/7, but you're doing this full time. You're putting a ton of work using multiple tools to do this, right? Like that's what I'm hearing is
it's not work to us, but yeah, it's just 2 tools really. It's just Options Omega and Chat GPT. That's really what it is.
Much.
And we used to watch Fox. We only have one TV in the office, so it's Fox Business, and we don't even watch that much anymore.
I do.
Oh, you do?
All day.
But that's when I'm out by the pool or surfing, so I really don't know what you do.
Now, do you only have one TV because you don't want to?
No.
You got to fight over the remote, or
No. We have one in the office.
We don't fight.
We have them throughout the house.
We never fight. I'm always right, and she always wins. I'm not always right.
Hey,
Not always, right?
hey,
I'm always wrong. I'm always wrong, and she always wins, and it's the easiest thing in the world.
I just told him your life would be so much easier if you just listen to me.
That's right.
Just listen to me. It's true. I'm always right.
That's true.
Humble.
And he hates it. I say, I told you so. And he says, don't. That's the meanest thing you could say is I told you so.
That's
And
so
I'm like,
true.
no, it's so true. Because if I say it enough, next time you'll listen to me.
What was the thing I did the other day? I did a hedge 30 days out, and she goes, "Are you a complete idiot?" I said, "Well, I'm not complete." "Oh, don't make fun of this. Don't make fun of this." So you're not supposed to go out so far. Don't you remember?
Why would you do a hedge for 30 days? This is probably an only 3-day problem. Why would you know?
Right.
Yeah. So but it's great. And so the bottom line is, if you are new to trading, or if you're even if you're a seasoned trader and you know everything that's going on, it's $20 a month to use Chat GPT. If you're watching this, you probably already have options Omega, and go ahead and put them together. The other thing I stress is that if you are trading in the high velocity stuff like the 0-DTEs, I highly recommend upgrading to the bot version. The robot is fantastic. And we've done other robots before, and yours is much faster, much cleaner, much easier, much more customizable. If you're doing I keep sliding backwards. The one trigger is the other thing I like. I like the sortability that you keep adding more and more. I like the fact that I can make a suggestion in 3 or 4 days that, the suggestion is taken, which is great.
Which doesn't happen at home.
Which does not happen at home at all. But I will say that those two products together, are not that expensive, but you will make that money back hand over fist. I would also say just a complete aside, options trading is built for people with a lot of money. A lot of money allows you to do a lot of small trades. If you don't have a lot of money, and I'm saying, and a lot is all relative, but if you have under $100,000, you can't do to do a multiple entry iron condor, it's going to cost $5,000 per entry, and say you're only going to use 50% of your buying power. You can only do 10 of them per day, and the more you can average out, you're looking for an average. You've got a 52% to 48% advantage if the back testings are true, which I believe that it is. So you need to really watch that carefully. And the more money you have, you can do more of them. And also, I highly stress, people say, what's the most important figure you look at? I look at max drawdown. Again, I used to look at the KGAR, the compound annual growth rate, but that's not what I look at, or the profit per lot. I don't look at that. I look at what's the max drawdown. I personally cannot stomach more than 10%. I know some people can do more. 10% is about my limit. If I see a trade over 10%, I get very, very nervous. In addition, don't fit the trades. I caution you against that, and at least go back a year. Now, because of, we had some changes with the Trumps and the tariffs and all that, I test a lot back to April 3rd, knowing how is it done since Trump has, tariffs has become, because right now we're kind of in a news-driven market.
Yeah.
And that goes back to my seasonality of trades. The trades, they come on, they do well. The market moves, the group of investors move to that particular trade, and it doesn't do as well because too many people are on one side. So, but there's always another trade coming along, and use Options Omega, use the Discord, get those trades, run the back test, and through Chat GPT, you can just upload the trade logs every day. I upload 50 trade logs in the morning every day to Chat GPT, and then she can take a look at them, and I have her do a spreadsheet and show me, what are the best entry times for my SPX trades, broken down by 5 minutes or 2 minutes, and what are the best premiums between $1 and $3 every 10 cents, right? And she'll make up a thing and a heat map, which you're not looking for a magic minute, but if you have a lot of money, you can trade more. If you don't have money, either try and get into a group, or it's hit or miss, or just, I know it sounds silly, but just buy SPX for a while and ride the, you're going to make 20% a year in SPX or in that neighborhood, and try and build up your account. And I know it's easy to say once from somebody that's achieved that, but I just hate to see these people getting screwed because, I have a great day and the 0-DTE, they have a bad day because they're only in for 3 particular times and I was in at 100 times. So I lost all 3 that they traded on, but I also managed, I won 52 and lost 48. So I made money that day. And small gains. It's all about small gains. There's 250 trading days. Somebody's like, oh, I only made $100 on this trade today. I said, yeah, it's a $10 stock. And if you did $100 a day, 250 days, that's, I don't know what the math is.
It turns into real money quick. Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. So that's my soapbox.
Well, guys, thank you. Thank you so much. We're about out of time, but the chat actually had a lot of questions for you. I don't think we're going to get to them all today, but
well, I tell you what,
here's the thing. We're going to have you back.
The next time we come online, I'm going to tell you the secret.
Okay. There you go. So, yeah, looks like futures are down about 20, 25 points. So it might be another exciting day.
That's where they
So-
were down all night. That's enough.
Yeah.
Flat.
no.
Please, God, either drop 300 or go up 300. That's what I'm
All right, guys.
say something good or bad. I don't care. Maybe both if we get really lucky. That would be awesome. Up and down.
Well, guys,
All right, well, thank you guys.
thank you
Hey,
so
love the
much.
chat. Love the Discord. Hello to everybody. We love it.